Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. We're here with Minh Nguyen. Thank you so much for being on the show, man. It is phenomenal to have you here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, for those of you that are not aware, this is, I believe, the most followed influencer in the mortgage industry that we have with us today. So, we're going to be learning a lot about social media and about the incredible business that you've built. So, if you wouldn't mind for our viewers just to kind of get to know you a little bit better, can you tell us a little bit about your journey? How did you get into the mortgage business? And then how did you understand that social media was going to be your thing? And how did you get started with that?
Well, I started in the mortgage industry in 2003. I remember I was going to Cal State Fullerton. I had a vending machine business. And my boss, who was just my friend back then, gave me a call. Said, "Hey, Min," he was working for Stearns back then. I just made $40,000 this month. I'm like, cool. You won a lawsuit. Let's go celebrate. He's like, no, I made it doing mortgages. So I sold my vending machine business. I dropped out of Cal State Fullerton. I'm like, whatever you're doing, I'm going to do it. And I started riding. I didn't need to save every dollar. So I rode the bus from Anaheim to Irvine, which was like almost a 2-hour bus ride to work and from work. So I can learn the business. And I started as a telemarketer. I was horrible at sales, but I was really good at getting people on the phone. I was a really good hype man, but I was a horrible closer because I told too much, which helped me later on in mortgage where telling was better. And then I became a junior processor. I ran the branch. And then, of course, the crash happened 07, 08. I was doing cash out refinances. I was by myself and I learned everything about FHA. But when I went to this company called Prospect Mortgage back then, or it was Metro City Mortgage before it turned into Prospect Mortgage. And all the older guys, they were just laughing. They're like, "Min, all the money is in purchases. You know so much about FHA cash out refinances. FHA purchases are going to be big. If you master purchases, you will never starve again." So I got into purchases from 07. I met with a handful of REO agents. I wrote it out. And then in 2010, I built a huge team again. And up until 2017, when I was recruiting a lot of loan officers, I can say I probably took a good amount of loan officers, took them from car salesmen, sold satellite dishes, precious metals, and turned them into successful loan officers. But as you build so many successful loan officers, they eventually leave you. So they all, of course, got better deals, bigger bigger offers from other companies, and they all left. So instead of rebuilding over and over again in 2017, I was like, what can I do? So I started, let's attack social media, because instead of educating a bunch of loan officers who will leave you eventually, let's start building an audience of consumers that will stay with you instead. So that's started my journey in 2017.
Man, that is amazing. And then, so what does your team look like now? Are you like solo producers? Is there a team behind you? What does that look like?
So right now, in 2000 and a couple years ago, let's say 2018, I was with Loan Depot up until last June. And we had about 15 to 20 loan officers working just What's a Mortgage. It's just, as you climb up, you need money. You need money to make money. So you need these bigger companies to pump money into you. We spend more money on advertising than Loan Depot and Quicken together on Facebook and Instagram. Maybe not now, but back last year, yes. So we spend more than most loan officers on paid advertising. But of course, as they take it off your P&L, they start putting a muzzle on you, what you can say and not say. So we left May last year, and I tried to go independent, and we started selling leads to other people. And now 2 lenders buy most of our audience. We have a mortgage broker, and we have Synergy One. They buy most of our audience. And of course, I price it out through United Wholesale to make sure it's in price line to compete, because what's the use of bringing a client to a lender if you know the consumer's going to complain or the lender's not going to be able to close the loan because they're priced out of the market. So now I generate content, and instead of making money on the loan, which will pad the margin even more for the consumer, I'm like, hey, pay me a flat fee. You can go all in on your audience, but you got to spend X amount to keep my page growing. So that's what we decided to work out.
Man, that is an incredible deal. That's really wicked smart.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how do most of the leads come in? Are you getting direct messages from consumers, web forms? Like, what does that look like?
So we run most of our ads on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
We just started Google ads, and we're sprinkling a little bit of audience right now into TikTok, but Instagram and Facebook is our bread and butter. So it's all direct, all messenger. So right now, when we talk, I throw out a phone number. Before I would throw out a phone number, no one called because our audience got bigger. They call, but we want them to text. We want to control everything through messenger. Think about this, how you communicate with people. You talk to everyone through DMs and through text messages. So to take out the sale, we control how we want to how we want to talk to them. We want to talk to the consumer through text message and through DMs. That takes that that layer of salesman out of it, salesmanship.
Yeah.
So everything.
That's so true, because it feels like a conversation with a friend.
Correct. So right now, when someone we run our ads, we run it now. It's at a point now we run against a cold audience. We don't even need to run it at a lookalike or at even our current audience. At our current audience, I might send out a message that's like, hey, sending out good vibes right now, and then get them to keep engaging, right? Inspire them. I might send out an inspirational message to our current audience or a lookalike. But we run a cold audience, and we A and B test, and we get them to message through or fill out a lead form. Our lead form leads have a higher contact rate, but they're further out. Messaging, they're on the hunt. If they message through, the chance of it converting is a lot higher because they're messaging right now. If they're filling out a lead form, they're still in the earlier stages. So that data needs to be incubated a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. And so are you dripping on them, like you put them into an autoresponder campaign and drip on them via email, or are you just retargeting them on social media and continuing to show them content?
So if we get their phone number and email, so right now, if they message through organically, or they start the bot, or they've halfway finished the form, then we have our people from Mexico engage with them.
Okay.
Get the rest of the data. We set an appointment for the loan officer. And of course, if for some reason it doesn't happen, we auto text them, because we just auto text. I don't do any email. I do all auto texting.
That's amazing. And that's a huge takeaway for everybody in our industry right now. I've lost count of the number of people that are just relying entirely on email to try and communicate with their customers. So that's a huge tip right there. That's fantastic.
If I do send a video, I send everything through text, like bomb, everything goes through text. So they open it. You want them to open it. You want them to open it. You want them to be easy for them to open it. If it's just a link, they're not going to open it. You see a link, you think it's all, these people who are scammers who are trying to get you to click open the link. So they see a video of me first, and then they click it. Then I know they open a video if I want to send them a message.
Awesome. That's fantastic. And all of that, again, for our listeners, can be programmatically built inside tools like ManyChat, that sort of stuff. Are you doing a lot of that automation?
Yes. So we use Go High Level for our for if they have not became a customer yet, or they've not gone through the journey. Once we know they're about to do an application, we convert it to something called Big Purple Dot.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, great. Now, just to give everybody here an idea of the size, like how many followers do you have on your Instagram right now? And can you give us a rough idea of your advertising spend every month?
We're about 47,000 followers on Instagram right now. We spend, I say, about 70 to 80 grand a month on ads right now. And we're generating between 50 to about 75 applications a day.
Wow. That is
so a little bit over close to 100 live transfers, or conversations, but about 75. So a lot of them, I'm not saying they all qualify, but the ones that do get on the phone with us, there's a high app. We have a high app because they reached out to us. We didn't reach out to them. They reached out to us because they're ready. So they're ready to ask a couple questions in the app.
Yep, that's amazing. And so of those leads that you're generating, how many would you say come organically because of the following that you now have and just organic likes, comments, shares, people being out there, and how much comes from the actual advertising?
30% come from organic.
Wow.
So as a compound more organic happen. The reason why I like paid advertising, because we can control where we want the audience to be. Because, if you use words like Orange County, LA County, Arizona, it takes a while for Instagram and TikTok to hey, they want clientele here. But if you do paid
Right.
advertising, it zones it in. It grows the audience quicker in that specific area. So now when we do get organic leads, it's only focused in that area. Because I see a lot of people on TikTok who have 700,000 followers, 100,000 followers. They're getting leads all over the United States. They might not be licensed there. The average loan amount is about 40, 50,000. There's a guy, I don't want to say his name because I didn't ask his permission, but he generates even way more leads than me organically because he has a huge following on TikTok, but his average loan amount is 50 to 75,000.
Right.
You know, our average loan amount is 510.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so are you driving most of your leads out of the California market?
California, Arizona, Nevada.
Nice. Okay. That's fantastic. And so a loan officer that's sitting here, mind blown with the numbers and statistics of the numbers that you're doing right here. It comes down to, okay, well, I want to get started with social media. How am I going to produce content? Like so many people just don't know what to post. So how are you constantly coming up with great content? Where do you get your ideas from? What does that look like?
Well, of course, now I don't have to do loans anymore, so I have time to look on the internet. If I had to start today, I would start on TikTok over Instagram. The
Nice.
reason why I was start on TikTok is because TikTok is algorithm picks up quicker on the sound. Instagram is very aesthetic. So it's got to look good, presentable. Then it goes on Instagram and it travels a lot better. I would try to produce as much content as I can on TikTok and start grooming the audience I want. So the more you go online, the more content you build, you can grow it organically. I have a realtor that I partnered with. Her average purchase price is 800 grand. She has 20,000 followers. She doesn't spend a single dollar in marketing. She's 26 years old. She's only been doing real estate for about a year and a half.
Whoa.
Yeah. And she's closing like more than 10 transactions a month right now. She's with EXP. No, sorry, not EXP. Oh my gosh. She's with oh my God. What's the Compass? She's with Compass.
Oh, okay, cool. Man, that's a monster. And it just goes to show you, 5 years ago, we were talking about these buyers are going to hit the market. They're here. Like the socially connected buyer that buys through social media, and that's how they make their buying decision. Like that is a massive market that a lot of people in the mortgage industry are completely missing. So content, that's where you're getting ideas. You're going out researching trends that are happening online. What about the actual gear that you use to produce your content? iPhone?
iPhone, that's it. Just a phone. We do 90% phone. I do have a team that does help me with some editing. They use the Sony, I think Alpha 6 or something, but sporadically. We mostly do phone. The reason why, because we edit an app for TikTok, and then so we do everything through TikTok because TikTok trends go before Instagram trends. We do everything on TikTok. We use all their tools, all the bells and whistles. Then, of course, we post it, we download it, we remove the watermark, and then we post it on Reels.
Nice. And so do you have to remove the TikTok watermark in order to get it to go on Reels?
You don't have to, but we do it anyways because, end of the day, we want it to be something like all these, if that's, we don't want to take a gamble at it. And we did remove it. And since we removed it, it does perform a lot better. We've had onesie twosie where it had the watermark and it did okay. So we're thinking, okay, it's a bust. But over the time we saw, okay, let's just keep it off. And since we've been keeping off, our trajectory has stayed above the 20,000.
Nice. Okay. That's fantastic. And so that's how you create your content. What are you thinking about for the future? So obviously TikTok is here. That's future for a lot of people, but what trends are you seeing? Where are you leaning for the future and what you think is coming?
I call it POV, right? Point of view. I think the future is in point of view because now consumers are smart. They don't want to see an advertisement. They don't want to see someone in a suit. They don't want to see an attractive girl with big boobs, which they do like, but it doesn't push the business. They want to see point of view. So lately I've been adding on my wife and we went through our journey of being a homeowner and it's been getting way more hits, way more engagement because we feel the pain, So now in our, when we go social, we do 2 pieces of education, right? 2 real pieces of education where It's not your typical, oh, work hard to buy a house. And, you know, it's not some like, oh my God, just a seller's, oh, because you can't find a house. It's like, all those are trendy, cool things, which should be majority of your videos. But, you know, we try to hold it down with 2 real pieces of content. But now we're sprinkling on the POV where my wife, how she fixed her credit, the car that we eliminated a car to increase our buying power. So we're teaching mortgage a little differently through a point of view of a consumer. And that's engaging a lot more than, you know, they say, oh, it's another ad. Oh, it's another loan officer. It's another realtor, you know?
Absolutely. And your content is very real. You're very much there and just speaking to your audience, which I know I get lost in sometimes. Like you feel like you turn the camera on and you're like, oh, okay, I gotta, you know, be the brand or whatever it is that you think you are. And I think just being yourself, the world is ready for it. It's time.
Yeah, I think what people should work on, do a lot of record yourself. Just you need to put out as much video as you can. Maybe you have a ghost page, make as many videos you can until you get your personality to come out. Everyone is shy and scared in the beginning. There's another guy, I told him I don't do any coaching, but if he sends me videos, I'll critique it for him. I told him why don't you put your videos out to your current database? He's an older guy. He's been doing it for a long time. He's trying to get a social. I told him, let's make some bomb videos, put it out to your clients and your family. Get used to being in front of the camera. And then when you put out a video, ask them a question. What is something you would like to learn that I can teach you today? Right. And as they ask, start writing down the questions. And that right there you should start building content. And then when you start building content, you start building, okay, these are my pillars, right? I have certain pillars. Like I know for every $50,000 a month, $50,000 in home you buy, it averages about $350 a month. So that's in a lot of my videos, right? Or to eliminate $350 a month in debt gives me $50,000 more buying power, right? So even though rates do change, you create just the way you pitch it, and numbers do change, but the way you pitch it should stay the same. So as you work on that, you will eventually squeeze out your personality.
That's amazing. And another area where I see your personality really shining through is in the comments. Like you're very active in the comment sections on your videos. Is that you? Do you have an outsourcer doing that for you? How do you maintain a brand at that type of scale?
Oh, I do it. I do a lot of it because that's how I get my more content. So I'm always squeezing stuff out in there. So that's why I don't do loans anymore. In the beginning, if you don't have, well, you can still do both because unless you are killing it in content, you have time to do both. If you do both, that's how you get your content. People run out of content because they stop engaging with the consumer. So I see a lot of people, they're either copying my content or they're copying my content because they're not talking to their own clients, their own viewers, and what they're concerned with. Like my big thing right now is second job. But, you know, because society has changed, you can't live off of one income or even two income. You need that second job. So I'm doing a lot of either changing your job or getting a second job. You need to have it for 2 years to buy a home. What should you do to find a second job? I have testimonies of people who are able to buy a home because of their second job. So that because I engage so much in the comments, I know that. So now I talk about second jobs. Now I hear other LOs talking about second jobs. They just talk to your consumers. That's the best thing you can do.
That's amazing. That's super helpful. Just talk to people. What a great tip. And so what about YouTube? You mentioned advertising. We're huge on going out, getting 5-star reviews on Google, getting direct phone calls from those types of lead sources. Are you transitioning a lot of your social content over to YouTube?
No. YouTube is my library in case someone wants to really look into me and lift up what's under the sheets, right? Yeah. If they want to go, okay, this guy for real. All right, he has real stuff. Because I'll tell you right now, I would never want someone to have to, you know, take a long ride to get somewhere. You know, I'm all about giving you shortcuts. Everyone I know that's really killing it on social, their YouTube is boo-boo. Yeah. Consumers just won't go on YouTube. Yes, there are ones who are successful on YouTube, but if you want success right away where you need to make money, you need leads to close right now, don't mess with YouTube yet. Sprinkle some stuff on YouTube so they know you have a presence there, but don't put your energy into that. Because also on YouTube, don't forget, they can't message you. They have to work up the courage to call you or text
Yeah.
you. That's why I think about TikTok too as well. That's why I like Instagram, because they can DM you. If they want to ask you a question, it goes to you directly. If you want to ask them a question, it goes to them directly with no one else. People, are very private when it comes to their finances. Yes. They're not going to put their stuff on blast in the comments on YouTube. Same thing with TikTok. With TikTok, you can't message them unless they're your friend. So that's why these barriers of entry is a lot harder than on Instagram. So for me, and I had to do it all over again, I would do TikTok to push people over to my Instagram to message me.
Got it. Man, that's a great tip. So what else? You're teaching this stuff, and it's incredible that you're sharing with the industry what you've learned and all of your tips. Do you have any other, just like, hey, guys, here's the thing that you need to know about social media if you're a mortgage person?
The one thing you should know about social media, build your CRM. Your CRM is the most important thing. You want to work backwards. When a lead comes in, what do you do with it? When it comes in, do you look like it's a Ferrari service, or is it still very choppy? Perfect example. Chris, you go to the doctor. If the doctor was very indecisive on giving you a remedy, would you be nervous about going back to that doctor? Or when you leave, like, let me go check out another doctor.
Absolutely.
Right? That doctor could be the best doctor in the world, but if they don't have a strategy to absorb you when you come in, when you go in the door, if someone's not there to greet you, they're like, this is my health. Like, oh my God, this just seems so sketchy. It's internet still, right? So people don't 100% trust the internet yet. So have your CRM. If the auto texting is on point, right? If you don't leave a long message, so they know it's auto messaging, you just keep it short and they see the back and forth. All right, I can trust this person. So reverse engineer it. You don't need too much automations unless you have that much consumers reaching out to, but enough where they feel like, okay, I can trust this person. You ever go somewhere, the food might not be great, but the service was there. Okay, cool. I can deal with it. I can bear.
Yep. Yeah, that's so true, because the thing that drives me crazy is, even still, like you said, the doctor's really only there for 15 minutes.
Correct.
All of the people and processes that get you to that point of diagnosis, you come in, you do a killer presentation, and then systems and processes take care of everything else. And I feel like in the mortgage industry, and I don't know why this is, but it's like dentists, doctors, lawyers, chiropractors, everybody else got the, like, okay, we got to put a business in front of this thing for people to go through. And it's like mortgages, there's a lot of people out there that look like one-man bands that are just they're calling the leads, they're calling the realtors, they're trying to do all of that work. When a new lead comes in, you got to be back on that lead right away. That first 10 minutes is crucial to conversion. You can't do that manually. You got to have a system or a person that does that for you.
Correct. I'd say system because it's cheaper with a system than it is a person up front. So let's say someone completes my app or they DM us. So when they DM us, they go, hey, Chris, what's going on? This is Min. So in the beginning, it was me. Once I answered the question, or I can tell, like, I want to answer this one on the phone to close them instead because they're on the verge. Yeah. I get the name, phone number, email. I put it in. I would manually put into my CRM before I had my bot up. And then they get an auto text. Hey, Chris, this is Min with What's a Mortgage. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. And then send them a Calendly link. They're like, oh my God, this guy, like, it's on point, right?
Absolutely. That is phenomenal. Well, thank you for being so generous with your time today. That is absolutely incredible. For my own questions, do you have channels that you watch to read from, or books that you're reading right now that you think are really valuable? Like, where are you getting your information from?
I'm getting my information from Barry Habib. I'm watching a lot of Barry Habib.
Yeah.
So what I do is I watch Barry Habib. I engage on Redfin. So I subscribe to a lot of the real estate channels so I can absorb the information. Then I run the data against, Redfin and against National Association of Real Estate to make sure the inventory levels, everything that I believe is really there. And I just do it on a maintenance. So I do that. Like, I wake up from 8 to 9, I do that right away. So right now I'm learning how to read mortgage rates a little bit better. But besides that, pretty much it's just all online through Housing Wire, Redfin, National Association of Real Estate, NAR.
Yep. Fantastic. And then what about social media and keeping yourself sharp on social media trends and what's going on there? Do you have specific content sources that you follow there?
I just go on TikTok and I troll the internet. So what I do is I follow, it sucks, it's weird to say, I follow Complex TMZ.
Oh, no
Complex,
way.
TMZ will tell you what's popular on pop culture, because you need to sprinkle in pop culture, because the most of the people who are entering into the home buying time, right, in their life, they are a home buying process, they're in the pop culture. So you need to know what's going on, right? That Tinder guy was huge. I don't see a lot of people putting something out. I have something out come out this week. As soon as, I'm really big when people put their concerts up and the tickets are more than the down payment for a home. My Adele one still kills it right now.
Yeah.
So those are my Super Bowl tickets killed it. So I look for trends on TMZ, on Complex, what's popping right now. When I look for music, I look for sounds, make sure it has a high shares. Who is it being shared to, right? Because if you follow that sound, sometimes the people that's going to is not the people you're looking for.
Right.
And if you're going to use your words, be patient to see the audience turn. Oh, I tried this. I didn't get people in Florida. I'm going to give up. You got to do it for like 3 to 4 months, and then you start seeing people in Florida.
Yep. Oh, man, super helpful stuff. So, Min, you're obviously helping people in the mortgage industry. You're building a large team. You've got, businesses that you're doing. How do people reach out to you? What's the best way to connect with you? I'm assuming Instagram DM, but what's the best way for people listening to this episode to connect with you?
Oh, if you want to reach out to me, reach out to me on Instagram DMs. Yes, I am in the DMs all day long on What's a Mortgage. Same thing on TikTok, What's a Mortgage _ on YouTube, What's a Mortgage, youtube.com/What's a Mortgage.
That's amazing. And all of that will be in the show notes. Again, thank you for being so generous with your time, Min. It was an honor to have you on the show. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Hey, it's Chris Johnstone. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast. I hope that you loved it and got incredible value from it. Right now, it's time to head on over to iTunes and leave your 5-star review if you enjoyed this episode. When you do, you will be entered into our monthly draw to receive an Amazon gift card. So go ahead, leave that review today. It also helps us attract top talent and really get incredible interviews lined up for you so that we can share even more value for you. Now, for the show notes and for all of the resources that were mentioned in this episode, you can head on over to loanofficerwealth.com. That's loanofficerwealth.com. You get access to all the show notes from all the episodes, all the past episodes, get notified of new episodes when they drop, and we've also got some very special bonuses for you over on that page when you opt in. So head on over and opt in today, and we look forward to sharing the next episode of the Loan Officer Wealth Podcast with you soon.